Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show, and I must start this off by saying screw Seth. Seth's awful. You know what? I'm going to just say screw Seth because I bet Seth doesn't even look at these, so I'm going to just start off by saying screw Seth. But anyways, to get into it for real, I am here to review Resident Evil 2, the remake, not the original. Resident Evil 2, man, I bought it when it came out last week. I hadn't reviewed it yet because I had just been playing it, but just playing the shit out of it, and I kind of wanted to wait a little, and I just really, work and playing it have taken up a lot of my time, so, but Resident Evil 2, what can I say about this game? This game is, it's not a masterpiece, but it's close. You know, right now, like, I'm on a pretty good high right now. I just played Red Dead Redemption. Like, I bought Red Dead Redemption. Like, the last two games I bought are phenomenal games. Red Dead 2 was phenomenal. And now Resident Evil 2 is phenomenal. Capcom, holy shit, man. First, Resident Evil 7 was great. And then you come out with this, a remake that is also great. Capcom is killing the game right now. I hope they can keep this up. It's a phenomenal remake. It's the best remake I've ever seen. I've never seen a game remade quite like this. I mean, I guess you can count Deus Ex, but there wasn't really a remake. I think Deus Ex was a sequel to the original Deus Ex, so I don't know if that counts as like a remake. But honestly, this game, and I'm gonna, you know what? People have already said this. I'm gonna just repeat what basically every reviewer has already said. This video game has set a new standard for how you remake a video game. It kind of gives me hope for older games that came out that they can get remade and they can be remade greatly. Like Prince of Persia needs to be remade now. After seeing this, I'm like, yeah, man, remake Prince of Persia, bring it back, update the engine, update the graphically, pay homage and do things. The one game I will say that after playing this that I was like, oh fuck yeah, they're ready to remake this. Silent Hill. Silent Hill could be remade and be phenomenal. I'm telling you right now. Who I don't know who owns the rights to Silent Hill. Please, can someone comment below who owns the rights to the Silent Hill franchise? Mark, Seth, if you're listening, can someone comment below who owns the rights to the Silent Hill franchise? Because I want to see that video game remade. Because those Silent Hill games were scary as shit. And I'm like, oh man, this is a good opportunity. After playing Resident Evil 2, I'm like, oh, they could definitely do this. Because the Silent Hill game had the same feel, had the same, almost, I think it had the same controls too, the tank control. And they updated, and like, I'm like, ooh, they can do this. But to get into the game, if you have not played the original Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 2 is an iconic game. It's almost more iconic than the original Resident Evil. It's the game that pretty much, put survival horror games on the map. I mean, it's the game that inspired so many other horror games. Like, there weren't horror games before the Resident Evil franchise, and Resident Evil 2 just took it to another level. It's starring Leon and Claire, and this one, the remake, is also starring Leon and Claire. It had a unique system where you could play through it as Leon or Claire and get different things, and you could play through it a different scenario as well. And the Resident Evil 2 game that just came out also carried that on here. They each had different weapons and different dialogue, carried that on to here. Now they changed the dialogue up a bit. They changed up a couple little minute things. But overall, it's the same exact game. I'm talking the same exact game. The map itself isn't even that massive, but there's so much content within the map. And this is the thing. Red Dead Redemption to me, as much of a masterpiece as it is, and it is a masterpiece, I never felt the need to go back and play through the whole thing again, because I felt like if there's something I wanted to do, I already did it. Resident Evil has done something. All the Resident Evil games have done this thing. And I think Resident Evil and Capcom should be commended for this, because they did it in 4, they did it in 5, hell, they did it in 5, I don't know if they did it in 6, 6 was kind of just a blind memory to me, and they did it in 7, and they definitely did it in 2. They encourage you to play through the game multiple times. They almost encourage you to beat the game and then immediately play through it again to unlock shit that you didn't have before, to unlock new shit, because you get to keep shit. Like, literally, they encourage you to play through the game multiple times. And, like, the Resident Evil franchise has done a great job at, like, giving you little shit to make you want to. Because I don't think because, like, certain games, I just don't feel the need to. Fallout, I never felt the need to play through Fallout, like, when I first play a Fallout game, and I do all the things I want to do and beat it, I never feel the need to go back and play it again. I beat New Vegas. I never felt the need to go back and beat New Vegas again. I always waited a year or two, then I would come back and beat it, and then I'd wait a year or two. So I'm probably going to have to wait maybe at least 7 months, 6 months for me personally. This is just my weird thing. I'm going to have to wait a while before I even feel the need to play Red Dead 2 again. I'm still waiting. I'm still just getting to the near point where I can play Far Cry 5 again over because I beat the main campaign and did everything I wanted to do. So I'm like, well, what else? Why would I want to start over? You know, like I did everything I wanted to do. But the Resident Evil franchise actually encourages you to want to play again because there are certain things you can unlock because you can unlock unlimited ammo guns by beating the game in a certain time. You can unlock certain weaponry by beating the game. By just beating the game, you unlock different outfits. By just beating the game, you unlock certain things. You have New Game Plus to play with, so it can make the game slightly even easier for you. You have all these different things playing with. And then to top it all off, they added in a feature where you have to play from 2 different perspectives to unlock 2 different scenarios. So I beat the game with Leon and unlocked the Claire's second what was it? I think it's called the second run scenario, where basically she's going through your where basically this is what she was doing while you were doing the main number Leon A scenario, and then you unlock Claire B scenario. This is what she was doing while you were doing Leon A, and you get to play through that. But then if you do the reverse and you play Claire A, you unlock Leon B, and you get to see what Leon was doing while you were doing that, and while you were doing the main one, and and vice versa. So technically, to beat this game, you have to go through the main campaign twice, and you have to technically go through the game 4 times to fully beat the game. So because at first I was thinking to myself, holy shit, man, because I beat the game in about 10 hours. You can beat the game about 10 hours. Like the main campaign with Leon, I beat that in about 10 hours. But you can't fully see that unless you play the secondary campaign with with Claire, which could take upwards to 4 to 5 to 6 hours. So technically, you have to do technically, if you add it all together, like my playthrough, if you added all the stuff I did together, technically, it would take me about 40 hours to beat the whole game. Well, not 40, about like 30 something, maybe 30. But I've seen people who could speed run it. I've seen people who could speed run it and beat the game in 4 hours. And actually, the way to unlock the unlimited ammo weaponry is to beat the game in 4 hours. That's how you start unlocking unlimited ammo. I think that's how you unlock the unlimited ammo handgun. But I do know you can unlock unlimited ammo shit. And like I said, this game encourages you to play through it. But let's get into the nitty gritty of the game itself. First of all, Leon and Claire are back, and it's great. Ada is in this again. Ada Wong's in this, and it's great. The Tyrant's in this, and it's fucking terrifying. But the thing that makes this game great is the atmosphere, the noise, the sound effect, the darkness. The flashlight is perfectly lit to where you can see what's in front of you, but around the darkness you can't see shit. When it's a dark room, I mean, the noise effect, the sound effects, the atmosphere, the fact that the zombies don't, and it's the most cool, unique zombies ever because they're the most unique ones. You can shoot you can shoot a zombie's jaw off and he can't bite you and he'll just kind of slime on you and fall off. You can shoot a zombie in the leg and he'll start crawling. And in fact, these zombies don't even die straight up from headshots. If you shoot them in the head, unless you see their head explode, they're not dead. They could just get back up. And by the way, zombies on this game will stay laying there for hours after you left the area and will get up when you come back at a random time. So unless you see their head explode or you hear a spine like it's splattering noise and you see a little bit of liquid coming out of them, you know that they might not be dead. And the game plays games with you too, because I remember, because there's certain areas you run through and there's like dead bodies there that will not move unless you shoot them or unless you come close to it. Or just come really close to it. So the game kind of teases you and kind of makes you want to get out. Like, it's a humbling game. I will say Resident Evil 2 has to be probably one of the most humbling games I've played in a while. In terms of the game forces you to run. You know, you get used to playing these games, some of the horror games, and you can kind of shoot your way out of a situation or think your way out of a situation. This game just forces you to run. Running is actually the preferable thing to do. That's how people speedrun these things in such short times. They just run. You don't shoot anyone, don't fuck with anyone, just run. Just take off. Just say fuck it all to everything and just take flight. This game, it's a humbling game because sometimes, and you never feel like you have enough ammo. I don't know how the game does this. I don't know how it does this. You never feel like you have enough ammo, and you never feel like you have enough space to hold stuff. Even when you do, you feel like it's going to be gone within 5 seconds because some zombie is going to just sponge up like 10 shots, and you're going to be like, how many fucking bullets do I have to put in this guy? The game is just great at that, man. It is great at keeping you on your toes. You're always on the edge of your seat. Honestly, man, playing the game made me want a Resident Evil movie more in line with this, this game more and more. I think they can do it, man. I really do. But man, the atmosphere itself, man. I tell you, the game is terrible. Like, the game's so difficult to play at times, depending on which mode you're playing on. The game's such a pain in the ass to play sometimes, and so inconvenient and such a dick pain in the ass. If you're not cheating when you're first playing this, like, I cheated some. I figured I didn't look at the thing. I just went and looked up some of the combinations and stuff. But even then, it was still hard sometimes. It's just such a pain in the ass because you never have what you need when you need it, and it's on purpose. And then the tyrant will just show up out of the blue while you're trying to do something, and he's like, then you got the zombie. I've had a situation where I had 2 zombies, a licker, and a tyrant coming from behind me, and I was just like, what the fuck? Man, like I said, I love Resident Evil 2. I think it's man. I still think 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game. I know, I can't help it. I just have a love for 4. I love it to tears. 4 is still my favorite. But man, there is a battle going down for number 2. Number 2 is fucking Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 7 just bucking. And I don't know which one I like more because they both have a phenomenal atmosphere, a phenomenal horror thing going. I don't know which one I like more. I'm leaning towards 2, but I could be convinced that 7 is the second best as well. Loved it. Resident Evil 2 gets a 9.5. Not quite a 10, but a 9.5. And I only say 9.5 because it is a remake. It's still a remake. It's not an original. There's nothing. It doesn't do too much original. It just goes back to the basic formula that made Resident Evil one of the greatest franchises of all time. The linchpin in the horror genre, the linchpin in the zombie genre, and phenomenal game. I give Resident Evil 2 a 9.5. Thank you for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. What did you think of Resident Evil 2? Have you played it yet? Are you into those games? And by the way, have you heard the recent rumors that Capcom are working on both Resident Evil 8 and a Resident Evil 3 Nemesis remake? Now, the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis remake is a no-brainer. This one's worked out so great, and it's the same engine, because if anyone of you remember Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, it was following Jill Valentine, as she was just going through, as she's getting run down by Nemesis. She's running away from Nemesis. But it takes place in the city, Raccoon City, before, almost congruently, while this shit with Leon and Claire is going on, this shit's going on somewhere else too. Except in that one, you got to roam the streets, so, maybe you get to see that. Maybe when Resident Evil Nemesis is announced, you'll get to see a little bit of the roaming the streets, because sometimes you can get 2 and 3 confused, because they both take place in Raccoon City, and they both take place almost at the same time. So, it could be a little confusing, except you play as Jill in one of them. So, but I'm hoping that they make that, and they've also said that they are making Resident Evil 8. They're working on both of them at the same time, and I was like, that's a smart move. Look towards the future, but look towards the now. So thank you for joining my Comic Game Movie Show. Are you looking forward to Resident Evil 3? I am. I definitely am. So have a good day, people. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.